Hi everybody, welcome back to the kitchen. We are going to get started on our vegan French onion soup. And this is so easy. We're going to get started with a whole bunch of sliced onions. Now I'm just using some yellow onions that I sliced up into half moon shapes, sliced them very thin. I used 5 big ones. Be careful because this can hurt your eyes a little bit. So get a big soup pot, 2 tablespoons of olive oil, and put that oil in the pot. And then add all of those raw cut onions. And we're going to put this on a stove to simmer. Let them start to break down a little bit, just for about 5 minutes or so, and make sure you stir them. So the onions have softened a little bit. And now to them, we're going to add some Worcestershire sauce. I hope I said that correctly. I know everybody says it a different way. Now make sure when you buy this stuff, you actually get a vegan brand. You can find this at health food stores or at a grocery store that sells organic products. A lot of Worcestershire sauces actually have anchovies in them, so they're not vegetarian. So that one is, make sure you use that. And mix everything through, put this back on the stove for a few moments. Then you're ready to add the broth. And we're going to add 5 cups of water. Okay, and 5 cups of water should be just enough to get all the onions covered. And then we have this magical ingredient too. This is a vegetarian beef broth. And you want to use beef broth specifically because traditionally French onion soup is made with a beef broth. So this is going to give it that really hearty flavor. So you used 5 tablespoons of this since we used 5 cups of water. Now give everything a really good stir and get this back on the stove to simmer about 40 minutes, I would say. If it's a little longer, that's fine. You just want to get those onions really softened and broken down and get the broth really flavored well. So back to the stove. Okay, so the broth is ready. We have all these onions melted. It has that nice caramely color. And now we have some oven-safe dishes. You can use Crocs for this, or I just found these little dishes for a couple of dollars, and it does say oven-safe on the bottom. So make sure you use that because these are going to go under the broiler. So this is enough for about 4 servings, depending, of course, on how big your bowls are. And you can just fill those up with broth and make sure you get a lot of onions in there. Okay, so we'll get this out of the way. Oh, this smells so good. I used to eat this all the time with my dad. We would go out on Thursdays together and go see a movie and then go to a restaurant and both order French onion soup and just sit there and eat it for like 2 hours and talk and hang out. So this has a really nostalgic place in my heart. So I'm happy to share it with you guys. So to top off the French onion soup, get some bread. You can use croutons. You can also use homemade croutons. I'm going to keep the bread in these pieces and just put them on top. It's okay if they stick out the sides a little bit. And you can push them into the soup a little because that's kind of the whole point. They absorb all of that broth. And then we're using a vegan shredded mozzarella cheese. This is Dea brand cheese. And get a big heaping serving of that up on top and just pile it on. And this stuff is gluten-free, it's dairy-free, it's like soy-free, every kind of free, allergy-free, but it's really good and it melts really, really well. So I definitely recommend this brand. And it doesn't have that many calories per serving. So normally when you add this much cheese, it's, you know, a pretty hefty dose of calories and fat. Not the case with Dea. So now that we have that, just to make it a little easier to get these in and out of the broiler, just put them on a baking sheet or some kind of dish so you can physically hold them a little easier and get them out of the oven. We're going to put these under the broiler only for about 2 or 3 minutes. Make sure you keep your eyes on them or else they will burn. So we're going to turn around and do that, and this will be ready in just a minute. Here we go, guys, our French onion soup. That cheese got all melty and crispy on top. So use some oven mitts to get these out of here because remember, they're going to be very, very hot. And I'm just going to put them on some plates to make them look a little fancier and to be able to hold them. And we'll get this out of the way. All right, so you are ready to serve this. And remember, this is enough for about 3 or 4 servings. So there you have it, a vegan French onion soup with the broiled cheese on top. Our French onion soup was so simple, you're gonna have plenty of time to make a side dish to go with that. And in this case, we're gonna make a nice fresh green salad with another onion counterpart to that, and it's gonna be a simple 1-hour red onion pickle. So to get started, we're gonna make the brine. So just take an old jar, I think this was a jar from spaghetti sauce or something like that, and clean it out really well. Take 2/3 a cup of apple cider vinegar, 1.5 tablespoons of sugar. I know sugar is not very good for you, but it's only 1.5 tablespoons in this whole thing, so you'll be fine. 1.5 teaspoons of salt, and then 1 cup of water. And that is a basic brine for this red onion pickle. So just mix everything together, let that sugar and salt dissolve. And now we have 1 thinly sliced red onion, and we're just going to add that to the jar. And at this point, if you want, you can add all kinds of spices to the jar if you have some, coriander seeds or anything like that. I'm going to add some dried red chili peppers to give it a little kick. You can add garlic to this, anything you want. Okay, we'll push that in the brine. And these are those red chili peppers I'm putting on top just because I like spicy stuff. Okay, and make sure everything's covered. And you are all set. Now you can leave this on the counter for about an hour, and then after that point you can move it to the fridge and you can keep it overnight if you want. I have one here that I did overnight, and this is what it looks like. So we're going to get our onions out of here, drain out some of that excess liquid, and then put together a really great fresh salad. Well, here we have a nice big bowl of fresh greens. This is going to be the base of our salad. And this salad, by the way, is just a really simple bright salad to accompany that soup, which can feel a little heavy even though it's not that bad for you. So use a fork and pull all those onions out. And if you're going to have them in the fridge for more than a day, you can take them out of that brine, or else they'll just kind of start to get really shrivelly. So pull some of the onions out for now to use in the salad. And to make a dressing, we're actually going to take a little bit of that brine and just drizzle that on top. And then a little squirt of Dijon mustard, maybe a teaspoon or 2 teaspoons. Just to lightly dress the greens, and then use your clean hands and mix everything together. And it's actually a really simple dressing because it has that mustard, it has that vinegar flavor. All right, so our greens are dressed. Now we're going to add some of those red onions in there. You can add a lot or a little, but they make it really bright and really crisp and fresh and pretty. And then for some more texture, throw in a few shelled walnuts. To give it a little kick, we will add some crushed red pepper and just mix everything through. Well, that's it. The salad is done. There's a lot of flavor and a lot of texture in here. So just grab another bowl or a platter and you can pile that right up. And it looks really pretty. And you have a nice fresh salad to go with your French onion soup with some homemade, very quick and easy red pickled onions.